Charlie Kirk on a show. Listen, you have to kill and starve those kids. The rapture is coming. Israel's our greatest ally. My producer says Aaron Bushnell is Colonel Crispy. Charlie Kirk on Signal. Shlomo Borowitz didn't drop the usual 2 mil. Classic move from the shysters. So cute, my little Hasanito. So do I think Charlie Kirk had a lot of anger and animosity towards Israel privately? Absolutely. They all do. Bill Clinton, literally in, I think it was 1996, came out of a meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu and very famously said, who the fuck does this guy think is the superpower here? Bill Clinton also still was a monstrous dick rider of Israel. It doesn't matter. These guys all fucking openly despise Benjamin Netanyahu and all of the arrogant Israeli envoys, but ultimately they still defend Israel. They're attached to the hip on Israel. You have to understand that, okay? You have to understand that. And Charlie Kirk, it was never going to sidestep the Trump administration. Charlie Kirk spent most of his career defending Israel aggressively, saying things that are heinous about the Palestinian population. You have to understand, people saying or people having their own personal opinions about like how gross, arrogant, entitled, and annoying Israel is, does not actually change their output at all, does not change their decision-making at all. Candace, being one of the only anti-Israel voices online, is going to cook the internet for the next decade, dude. She's hopping on this rocket ship and riding it to the moon, and these media illiterate Zoomers just eat this shit up. I know. Is there an argument he was paid to say horrible stuff about Gaza? Everything Charlie Kirk does is like here. Yeah, Brandon Carrot is a good take on this. Okay. Charlie Kirk on a show. Listen, you have to kill and starve those kids. The rapture is coming. Israel's our greatest ally. My producer says Aaron Bushnell is Colonel Crispy. Charlie Kirk on Signal. Shlomo Borowitz didn't drop the usual 2 mil. Classic move from the shysters. Yeah, that's literally it. Okay, if you think Charlie Kirk wasn't like one, understandably angry at like the Zionist donors that were constantly calling him an anti-Semite because he recognized that like the floor was moving underneath these guys, and he saw it because he was constantly at fucking college campuses. So he was around these people where he was like, guys, we have to do something about this fucking anti-Israel sentiment. Like we have to be, we have to find a better way to communicate to Gen Z about like Israel, because like we're losing the support. This is going to be a major issue, right? And also Brandon is Jewish, the one who did the Shlomo Borowitz joke, the person. I said this before. It's like it's much easier to convince Americans to take an anti-Israel position on the virtues of like anti-Semitic conspiracies than it is to explain to them a materialist, explain to them why America is so attached to the hip to Israel with like materialist analysis, and then on top of that talking about like the consistent advocacy, the consistent and pervasive Zionist lobby and the Zionist influence network that exists in Western society, so that the money flow doesn't stop to Israel. What do you mean anti-Semitic conspiracies? It's so much easier to convince an American that Jews control the media, and they, and they're a monolithic group that just wants to melt the Palestinians. It's something that Jews control the media, Jews control the banks. Like these sorts of concepts already exist, like the nascent anti-Semitic conspiracies, because you could just present it as like, look at how many Jews are in positions of power, even though there aren't that many Jews, right? So that's already existed in American society and in Western society in general. There's also a long history of these sorts of takes that have played a formative role in even the Holocaust, for example, right? And numerous pogroms that took place beforehand. Like, it's a classic meta. Blame one group that you have identified as the enemy always in an effort not to actually address the real material harm that the overwhelming majority of the populations are experiencing. A man by the name of Vladimir Ilyich Lenin, as a matter of fact, talked extensively about this. The problem, however, I can't find any first-party direct source saying what you quoted about Bill Clinton. For someone who's against misinformation, I'd say you should research that quote. What, the Bill Clinton quote? Yeah, Do you think Bill Clinton came out and openly said that he said that? Because I don't think that's, I don't think you're going to arrive at that. It's always going to be secondhand. Yeah. Responsible statecraft. Who's the superpower around here? After his first meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in 1996, Bill Clinton vented his fury before his staff about his visitor's apparent presumptions about the balance of power in the bilateral relationship. Who the fuck does he think he is? Clinton reportedly bellowed. Who's the fucking superpower here? It's a very famous quote, by the way. Where did you ask? Wait, chatter, hold on. Not only is this like a super fucking famous quote, where did you ask? And why are you, and I know the answer. It's ChatGPT. You asked ChatGPT. You absolutely asked ChatGPT. And instead of actually doing your own research on this. Okay? But when I clicked on that source, it just kept going. Wait, what? I don't know what happened with that source. Anyway. Yeah, this has been covered extensively, and considering that it's from a very long time ago, some of the quotes, some of the hyperlinks are inevitably going to break. Okay. Chatter was so horny to prove you wrong. He took 2 seconds to research, didn't see the top result, and came back to yell at you. I know. I think you guys got to use your own brain every now and then. It's a very powerful tool you have at your disposal as opposed to using ChatGPT for everything. Anyway, where were we? What was I talking about before we did this sidestep on the Bill Clinton? Oh, well, the reason why I was bringing up Bill Clinton is because, like, everyone has publicly and privately expressed their discontent with Israel and what Israel is doing, or with Israeli envoys and how fucking annoying they are. But it doesn't really matter because they still are attached to the hip with Israel. Donald Trump himself is actually a perfect example of this. If you don't actually recognize that there is a higher order, a higher priority here for every single person in a position of power in American politics, that you always have to, first and foremost, be pro-Israel, no matter how much you fucking hate people that are, no matter how much you fucking hate, like, the Israeli officials that are yelling at you because they're just so unimaginably fucking entitled. Okay? Y'all don't know that he used ChatGPT. Talk about misinformation. Don't believe everything your idols tell you. It's a good way to be, period. Why are y'all so against hearing other opinions out? What? No, man. Instead of using ChatGPT, I'm saying Google it. Like, use your own fucking brain, dude. What? That's not, AI is not a different opinion, dumbass. What the fuck? Oh, we're so cooked. I started off so good. Per Times of Israel, the quote is from the book, The Much Too Promised Land by Aaron David Miller, the deputy director of the White House's Israel-Palestine peace negotiation team, took one Google search. The roots of Netanyahu's presidential feuds. Okay. Netanyahu's first presidential feud was with Bill Clinton in the book, which isn't even true, by the way. His first presidential... Oh, well, I guess it was. For Netanyahu, it was Bill Clinton, yeah. In the book, The Much Too Promised Land, Aaron David Miller, deputy director of the White House's Arab-Israeli peace negotiations team, wrote that during the first meeting in the summer in 1996, Netanyahu lectured Clinton about the Arab-Israeli conflict. Who the fuck does he think he is? Miller quoted Clinton as remarking. Who's the fucking superpower here? And there have been a million different instances of American leadership saying stuff like this over and over again about Israeli leadership. It doesn't matter, because throughout time, they have still continuously, throughout time, America has still continued to defend Israel over and over again as Israel has become more and more belligerent and more violent. Why do you think Biden had so many red lines and come to Jesus moments with Benjamin Netanyahu, and yet nothing changed? Do you not find that to be strange? Do you not find that to be odd? That these guys always and forever consistently kept repeating like, oh, we got to put a stop to this, Jack. And yet no stops happen.
都飞，看看到我们的结伴美，这里本身当家做主人，一呀一次哟，呀呀，会的话，这里本身上。